Sure.
Ready? Ready? All right. Our first question will go to Mr. Press. All right. And this is the question. What are the 3 most important issues facing the school district in the next 3 years?
Good question. Well, I think, okay, 3 things. I think the obvious, the largest issue is the budget. We've got this year a 7% tax levy increase in the proposed budget, which I also am supporting, again, to maintain the programs for the kids here, not just my kids, but your kids, your grandkids, and the community. I think over the next, I guess, the 2 additional years, I also have concerns about the 4-year plan, the 7666. My own personal thought is the community will not support that. I think it's going to be hard enough getting the budget passed this year because of the large increase. So I think the next 2 years after that, if we're looking at 3 years, that's going to be difficult. And so we've got to look at whether or not we're going to have, if the budgets do not pass, how we're going to address that, whether it's with cuts in programs or other ways that we can generate revenue. 2 of the other issues, 30 seconds, wow. Implementation of the Common Core standards, I think, is an issue that we're going to have to deal with over the next couple of years. That seems like that's going to be a big change for the students, the standards that are going to be imposed. What other issue? A third issue. I think also the implementation of these APPR programs is going to have a significant impact on the district.
Can you explain the acronyms, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. My time is up. Can I explain the acronyms? No? Okay. Someone else might.
Yes, Ms. Taylor?
Yes, thank you. There are several issues that are affecting our community, some of which I spoke of in my opening. As a school board member, I have the privilege of seeing things from both sides. Not only am I serving my community on the school board and trying to figure out ways to make sure that our schools have the best possible educational program, I'm also a taxpayer who is terrified of having to pay more in taxes and not really sure how I'm going to do that. And I am a parent of a girl that's in 6th grade right now. So I'm in a place where I know that I have to do what I have to do in order to make sure the educational program stays great for my daughter. So that is one of the main issues, trying to communicate the necessity of having a budget that has an increase. The state has reneged on its promise to fund our school program, and they have basically told us it's up to you. You either fund it or you don't fund it. That's your choice. That is what the state is saying to us, and that is why we are proposing that we give the community a chance to make that choice. So that's one thing. The other thing that I have found in my term on the board is that the communication between the school board and the district is a very strained kind of communication, and it really shouldn't be. Especially during this year that I've been president of the board, I've been trying to push for more and more and more access for the community. Pushing for people to come to the board meetings, making sure we have a million things on Connect Ed, which one of my very dear friends called me and said, stop already with Connect Ed. But to me, that is one of the best ways to get the community out. So that's my second issue. And my third is the APPR issue, which is, by the way, an annual review of teachers. Thank you.
Well, the number 1, 2, and 3 issue is our finances. We've lost over $20 million in the last 4 years from state aid. Besides the fact that health insurance and pension plans have increased double digits. And then I was just heard a webinar the other day where workman's comp is also the highest. We have the highest rate for workman's comp in New York State than the whole nation. So all of these factors are working against us. Yet we're still trying to put on a good education program. The Common Core standards actually, the premise of the Common Core standards is a great idea. So that if a child is in school in Florida and then moves to New York, they should be able to be fairly equal when they come into their classrooms. Should be is the operative word. It's the unfunded mandates that we get from the state. They keep throwing these things at us and don't give us a dime to enact it and don't give us any guidance on how to do it. So that is a big issue where we're going to try. That's why these children are getting all these ridiculous amount of testing. Because the state just keeps throwing us tests. So the testing companies are making a lot of money, but our kids are suffering for it. So I think that's one of our biggest issues, besides the shrinking dollar. That's always up there, but also, and my third one is the APPR, which now we're doing Common Core standards, new tests, and I got to grade a teacher on brand new tests. It's not fair.
Okay.
Ms. Rebord?
Yes. I agree with what a lot of my opponents have said. As far as the top three issues, first, I think, as I addressed in my opening, we have to look at revamping the way that we run this district. As far as this plan for the 766 plan, I don't think it's workable, and I don't think it's sustainable in Baldwin. But I spoke to that already. I want to move on now into the testing, the high-stakes testing. And I actually just came from, as did Mr. Press, a lecture by Diane Ravitch. She is on this high-stakes testing and how it's affecting kids here and around the country. And I would like to see Baldwin really, as a school board and a community, take a stand against this high-stakes testing. It's not good for our kids. It's not good for the teachers who feel this extra stress, not counting the teachers in our district who will feel the stress from the 766 plan and never knowing if they're getting a pink slip if the budget fails. And as Ms. Clark said, the only ones really benefiting from this testing are the testing companies. Our kids aren't benefiting, our teachers aren't benefiting. So I would like to see the school board and the community take a stand like Rockville Center did and get rid of this high-stakes standardized testing. The third thing, I guess, with implementing the Common Core, my concern is that we're losing a lot of, 30 seconds, we're losing a lot of educational enrichment. And I would like the principals or the leadership to focus on how we can implement this Common Core and still make learning fun and enriching and not have our kids, especially at the elementary school level, just learning how to fill in bubbles and learning how to take a test, but doing things that excite them and intrigue them and, you know, arouse their intellectual curiosity. So those are the three top things for me.